to be in the top 1% of the world with anything, do you know what you have to do? What you actually need to focus on is, if you're in a position right now where you're not happy with the way you look, the way you feel, your daily energy, because one of the first things people need to think about is this. Your mentality is the real thing that's going to get you there. This is a reality. For you to create yourself and create who you want to be, this is the number one superpower you can have. Because I'm going to take you through exactly the secrets you need to unlock to have a strong mind and then a strong body. Because one of the first things people need to think about is this, and the body will only go where the mind takes it. So what you actually need to focus on is the mind first. And that's one of the key things we do at CJ Coaching in terms of creating a life-changing transformation with our clients. So mindset really matters. And to get into this, if we discuss the first thing, which is if you want to be in the top 1% of the world with anything, do you know what you have to do? Super simple, super easy, costs you nothing. Yet no one does it. You want to be the top 1% of people, have a written goal. So the first thing you need to do if you're listening to this podcast right now, whether it be with your fitness, whether it be with your health, whether it be relationships, whether it be with your business, is write down what the fuck you actually want to achieve. Because if you don't do that, you're just plodding through life, you're like cruising along, you're going to be a nobody. You're going to achieve nothing, you're going to have no impact. When you die, everyone's going to forget about you. Now, the reality is, what you want to do is live up to the person you could be. So this is something I think about a lot, is on the day you die, is you meet the person you could become. So what you want to think about is, how can I maximize who I can be, and who is it I want to be? So set the goal of what you want. So when it comes to setting goals, what I'm a big fan of is you have to be realistic to some degree, but most people really underestimate what they can achieve in a longer time horizon. So you need to expand your thinking. So yes, you want to think about, you need to get in great shape in the next 8 to 12 weeks for summer, or whatever it might be. But you also want to think, like, what do I want to look like in a year? What do I want to look like in 5 years? If you're currently 30, what do you want to look like when you're 40? If you're currently 40, what do you want to look like when you're 50? Because every single thing you do every single day is either taking you towards the person you could be or taking you away from it. And that's down to you. It's down to the daily decisions you make. And this is a really important thing for you to understand, is staying true to your values. So the first thing is that mindset really matters. And here's an interesting thought process. I naturally wake up in a negative state. Now, I have realized that I wake up in a negative state because I'm not happy and not content where I want to be, because I want to keep progressing. I want to keep improving physically. I want to keep improving with my businesses, with my personal life, with everything. I want to keep improving. Now, the reality is, if you're super content, super happy, the reality is that you're not going to probably push yourself. So to some degree, you need to have that there to drive you. And I see that in a lot of men who are very driven, that sometimes they wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, that's me. Like, that's just the way I am. But then I put myself in a positive state at the start of the day, after waking up and having a coffee and a drink and like clearing my head, to then reframe of like, who is it I want to be today? Who is it I want to turn up as today? And when you come down to like, when we're trying to achieve a world-class body or get in great shape for the first time, your mentality is the real thing that's going to get you there. So really understanding that's really important. I just want to say a huge thank you for tuning into the show and hoping you've learned something so far. One huge request, so I can give you greater value, get you better guests on here, and give you more information to help you get better results in your fitness and with the rest of your life. If you could kindly subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the video, leave us a 5-star review, and share this with a friend who can take value from this, would mean a huge amount to me, so I can continue growing the podcast, keep getting more guest information on there to help you. Now back to the podcast. The next thing we need to go into is motivation and consistency. Here's a good story. I came back from Spain, had been super busy. I'd had 2 big events with clients back to back, and I really didn't want to go to the gym. I'm like driving to the gym, like, I don't want to go to the fucking gym. I don't want to go to the fucking gym. I don't want to go to the fucking gym. And I was like, you're going to go to the gym. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to go to the gym. And anyone listening to that, you might resonate with that. And what do you think I did? I went to the gym. And I also trained legs. And I was on the leg press, and it's loaded. I got like 12 plates aside. I'm like, I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I was like, just fucking get over and done with. It's going to take like 60 seconds. So you put your headphones on, put your big boy pants on. Like, this is why I like tracking weights, because you know like how many reps and stuff you're supposed to do. And I just did it. Did I enjoy it? No. Did I feel better afterwards? Other than dying from doing the leg press? Yes, because I was like, this is a reality. For you to create yourself and create who you want to be, this is the number one superpower you can have. Doing what you don't want to do, but doing it like you love it, and just do it anyway. Don't overthink it. Crush your fucking emotions and just do what you have to do. Too many people think and sit in a pity party of, oh, I'm tired today, or I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like working today. It's like, I don't feel like doing a lot of shit all the time. Yeah, I still do it because I'm disciplined and I'm committed to myself and I'm committed to who I want to be. And I've come this far. You don't rest in the middle. You rest at the end when it's done, when you've won. You shouldn't be in a season of resting. You shouldn't be in a position of resting. There are seasons of life. There are times throughout the year for rest. If you're not on vacation, you're not chilling out, you should be in the season of working. Rest when you're on vacation. Rest at Christmas. If you're not in that period right now, fucking wake up and get on with what you should be doing. The biggest thing I see too many people doing is there's too much education and too much information, yet not enough implementation. And implementation is what gets you results. So think about action and actually the outputs of what you're doing. So when you're trying to frame your mindset, what you want to think about is not being motivated, because no one's going to be motivated all the time. What you want to be is disciplined. So you don't raise to your ambitions, you fall to your standards. So set yourself a very high standard and you will be successful with everything you do. One of the things that I do with everyone around me is I probably give them a lot of shit because I have very high standards. And guess what? That makes them better. They achieve things they don't even realize they could even achieve. They look back a year later and like, I can't believe the person I've become. And that's the reality of who you could be if you set a very high standard for yourself. And that comes down to the smallest things, the food you eat, cheating your diet, skipping the extra rep in the gym, like, oh, that'll do. Like, it won't fucking do. Just do your best. Like, I've never seen anyone give everything in terms of building their body and never, ever not see results. It's impossible. If you try and you're listening to this right now and like, oh, I can't get in shape, have you actually gone all in, hired a great coach, done everything they told you to do, slept properly, eaten properly, not cheated on your diet, actually trained hard? Because it's physically impossible. We're not putting a man on Mars. This isn't that complicated. And that's on you. And what you need to do is take extreme accountability and extreme ownership for your actions and your results and exactly where you are in life. And if you're not in that position right now, you need a rude fucking awakening to look at the person in the mirror, because the person in the mirror is the person holding you back right now. Now, next thing we'll talk about in terms of taking the next level is stress management. Now, we're all going to have stress in life. The older you get, the more successful you get, the more stress you're probably going to have. What you have to think about is that the better the person you become, the more success you attract, the better the body you create, the more stress is probably going to come into your life. But what you also need to understand is you need to get a greater stress tolerance. So stress is your perception of things, your perception of what can go wrong. So one of the best things about fitness is if you're in peak physical state and you're training really, really, really hard, you can't be stressed. You're not thinking about anything else. If you're in the gym and you're grinding in the leg press, you're not thinking about like, oh, this bill I have to pay later on. Like, I really like playing paddle at the moment. If you're playing paddle and you're in flow state, like, you're not thinking about stressful calls you've got to deal with later in the day. And this is why fitness is one of the best things for you, because it allows you to take your mind and put it fully present into a flow state of doing something at peak physical performance. And this is why it's one of the best things for your mental health. Now, the last thing I'd say is when it comes to connecting strong mind, strong body, becoming the greatest version of you and becoming the 1%, what you want to think about is overcoming challenges. So everyone's going to have challenges, whether it comes to issues in terms of injuries, in terms of maybe they've got problems with travel, they've got difficult schedules. See these as an opportunity to overcome rather than an opportunity that I can't do it. Because the reality is there's someone else who's in your situation who's achieved what you want to achieve, which means you can also do it as well. So the reality is, think about setting yourself big goals, setting yourself challenges to overcome, and keep yourself disciplined and hold yourself to a high standard, and you will see it through. So my advice for you today is this: if you're in a position right now where you're not happy with the way you look, you're not happy with the progress with your body, you're not happy with your life in general, take a hard look in the mirror, because the person looking back at you is the person holding you back. If this podcast really resonated with you, make sure you leave us a 5-star review, share it with a friend, and check out the next episode coming up soon. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment any questions below.